Hello everyone, I am Prakhar Garg and I'm the Program Director at TCS Ion Direct. I will be your host for this session, Career in Sports Industry with Siddharth Deshmukh. Career in sports in India is often treated with disbelief, pessimism. Spotlight finishes require a lot of time, talent and sickening work ethics. Of course, the glamour bonanza, the glory and doubt are lucrative. Although the opportunity in sports industry aren't limited to those with athletic prowess, there is a wide range of positions in the field of non-athletes too. These jobs support the sports industry by providing mental and physical health services, sales and marketing revenue, and sports media content. However, to gain the required motivation and acceptance from your parents and peers is also a rarity. So in this session, we have invited a distinguished expert to talk ways to experience and even organize such high adrenaline rush about careers in sports industry. It is my pleasure and honor to invite and introduce our guest speaker today, Mr. Siddharth Deshmukh. Siddharth Deshmukh, or as we fondly call him, Sid, is a seasoned industry leader with 2 decades of experience, out of which 8 years of last 8 years is in sports industry, handling sports commerce, sports development, sports education, and sports technology. He is the founding member of MBA Sports Management at the Symbiosis School of Sports Science under Symbiosis International University. He is the ex-CEO of Khel Now, fan engagement technology consultant with Sacramento Kings NBA team, industry mentor at Qatar Sports Tech, South Asia head of Genius Sports, and most interestingly, he is the brand manager of MS Dhoni. He has his own talk show at Sports Says with hashtag Let's Talk Sports with Sid Deshmukh on his YouTube channel, where he interviews athletes, business owners, coaches, and administrators from Indian and global sporting landscapes. This channel gives great insight into sporting landscapes and make career into sports. He has been awarded with top 50 marketing leaders towards contribution in sports marketing by MadCon, or Marketing and Advertising Conference. A seasoned business leader in leveraging solutions consulting programs and program management for Fortune 1000 clients in the FMCG, high-tech, sports and media vertical. Sports, Siddharth is a greatest teacher, and it has taught him that one of very important thing, you can't put a limit on anything. The more you dream, the further you get. So we welcome you, Siddharth, or Sid, as I should call you. So we welcome you, Sid. It's an honor having you here.
Thank you, Prakhar. It's good to hear, or probably it's so nice to hear your own accolades from somebody else. So it's thank you for those kind words.
It's something that you have achieved over the years. So I am quite sure you would be hearing a lot of those words from not just me, other people as well. I'm quite sure.
It's good to be a contributor to this amazing industry of sports. So I love what I do. So I'm looking forward to this chat with all the participants, all the attendees who are there, and hopefully I can give the good insights into the industry for them, for their parents, to help them take the decision in the career that they want to do probably.
Sure. Thank you. So before I go any further, I would like to apprise our audience that you can ask your question during the whole webinar by putting them into the chat box. We request you to please mention your name and your city to help us contextualize your question. We will take a set of selected questions which are most relevant to everyone.
Yeah. So Prakhar, thanks. Yeah. So I'll just for the audience, I'm also going to put some information up from my side in the chat window so that they can get the details about my social media activities for them to follow me, reach out to me beyond this session as well.
That would be great. Thank you, Sid, for that. So Sid, my first question would be, like, you have spent 20 years and especially last 8 years in the sports. So please tell us your success story, your journey of the last 20 years. You have started as a leveraging solution consultant to a program management consultant to Fortune 1000 clients. What challenges did you encounter during this whole journey?
Okay, so I'll just rewind a bit. I'm a computer science graduate. I have done my MBA in IT. I am a MBA HR from SIBM. Worked in banking and IT consulting for almost 12 years. Sports is something was was, is, and always be my passion. I've been a competitive athlete, but I had an unfortunate basically injury, and because of which my sporting career got over. So I called myself a failed athlete. Uh, but yes, I'm a very successful sportsman, because sportsman is it's an attitude. It is something that you live with. It is a quality. So I'm a failed athlete but a successful sportsman. I'm a what do you say? Growing up in 90s, IT was the only lucrative thing that I had, and the way a lot of kids are there, the parents take the decision. So I come from doctor's family. So since I did not become a doctor, I think the computers was the only option. So I became after failed athlete, I became a force engineer. But after 12, 13 years of working and getting involved with what I wanted to do and what I was not enjoying, considering all those things together, I became a focused entrepreneur. So sportertainment entrepreneur. That is what I always call. So I go with three Fs: failed athlete, force engineer, but focused sportertainment entrepreneur. The journey has been great. Honestly speaking, I'm not here to give only the rosy picture. It is tough. Some people ask me that what happens when you follow your passion. I said my monthly package became my annual package. That is what that is what the biggest shock that I had. But nevertheless, that is what I want to do, and I took a leap of faith. And believe me, that is one of the best decisions of my life that I took in 2012. I came back from the US in 2013, but while I was in the US, I was actually training for duathlons at Stanford campus, Stanford University campus, and that's where I saw a lot of the university athlete training, and I got excited about the whole NCAA model in the US, about the sports development, university sports, and the college sports, and all those things, which is pretty big. And I was thinking, why can't we have something like this in India? And that was the what to say. That was the entrepreneurial bug. Or that was the triggering point for me to come back to India, quit my job, start my own company in consulting, and from there till now, it's been an amazing journey working with IPL, ISL, Kabaddi. In fact, I have worked with every possible league except IPL from the day it started, because IPL started in 2008, and every other league has started from the time I have been in the part of the industry, and I got to work in that. So that is the beauty of it. Uh, India was a one sport nation, and we are moving towards a multi-sport nation, which is again a positive sign. And as we were chatting earlier, what I said, right? How many people can go back and say that they got a chance to be part of the sunrise industry? It's like manufacturing in 1780s, IT in 90s, or banking in early 2000, telecom in early 2000. But sports is the industry where we are a handful of people in the whole of India in the sports industry. And whatever success that we see right now, the money that people get to see is because of IPL. Imagine what kind of benefit that we have. We are the youngest country in the world. Our 65% of the population under the age of 35. That means 800 million people under the age of 35. Out of that, 400 million people under the age of 18. So imagine the power that we have, and the sports can make the change to this country, not only from the sporting mindset, from the growth of the country also. So sports, when I talk about sports career, I'm not going to talk about how to become an athlete. For that, you can go and check my channel on YouTube called Sportsysays, Sportsysays. There are a lot of athletes, a lot of administrator, coaches come on there, and I interview them from the career perspective. I'm going to talk about what is beyond an athlete and how do you make an athlete successful, because the moment the athlete is successful, the sports industry is successful, and that's how you grow with it. So looking forward to this chat for next 30 minutes, 40 minutes, answering a lot of questions that are going to come our way around this. So hope I'm setting the stage right here.
Yes, definitely. It's a very, very well set stage right now. And I was like quite intrigued because to be fair, sports is not just about the athlete who's standing there and performing. It's a lot to do about people who are standing behind him and him or her, and then supporting that person. Maybe in terms of health or fitness, or maybe in terms of their marketing, PR strategies, or analytics. A lot of things things goes into all of it. So a very interesting story that I wanted to hear is actually how was it managing someone like MS Dhoni?
Okay, great. So I was expecting this question to be a little later part, but good that it came. Believe me, it's a MBA every day I meet him. I do a different MBA every day I meet him. He is what he is, on field, off field, exactly the same, and that's the beauty of it. Very humble guy, very down to earth guy, but very sharp guy. I think that is the beauty that I get to learn from him. Very meticulous eye for detail that we get to see from his all decision making, right? Very intuitive. It's giving the Joginder Sharma the last over to Ishan Sharma coming back in the Champions Trophy to going and running the ball, making run out against Bangladesh instead of throwing the ball. So it's all intuitive for him, and that has what paid off. Again, one of the intuitive thing that coming to bat ahead of Yuvraj Singh in 2020, 2011, the World Cup. So that is how he is. He says take a decision and then make it right, rather than waiting for taking the right decision. So working with him is phenomenal. I get to work with him on the brand management, multiple brand opportunities that we get to work on. What is required, how the brand should be projected, what is MS Dhoni's image, what is the brand's image, and how do you actually marry both the things together to give a right output? Because he's a man of masses. A small town boy from Jharkhand came ahead, and I know most of you don't even probably remember when he made his debut. It was almost 16, 17 years back. He couldn't even probably speaking English well. So it is not about how you are; it's about where you go. It's about trusting the process. So even if you want to make a career in sports, I think you have to trust the process rather than looking at where am I and what am I going to do in 5 years. No, trust the process. Be sincere about yourself. Make sure that I am giving 100% every possible day. I'm going to be a better version of myself every possible day, and that's what I get to learn from MS Dhoni. And I'm very privileged. And it's not every day you get to manage somebody like MS Dhoni, right? So it's it is what it is.
It must be a wonderful feeling, and I really like the word which you just mentioned about him. Is like is his ideology about take a decision and then make it right. So that's a wonderful kind of just like that. What you did, I would say, is you kind of moved out of your technological background of IT background and then moved into this thing. So you took a decision and then made sure that you are onto it and you have made it right. So thank you for bringing that up.
And that's good. It worked. And but I'm still a student of it every day, and I learn something new. I always like something which I heard or read some time back. The best part of the game is the opportunity to play.
Right. That's really simple, but really insightful words actually.
Yeah.
So moving on with the question set. So can you, like, for our audience of viewers that are mostly students, so could you please tell us what are some of the most popular career options and alternative disciplines that are available that a student can pick up in a career path, and like who are usually people are trying to careers in engineering and medical. So what careers they should look out in sports industry?
So believe me, it is as simple or as transparent industry as any industry. You're just going to add sports into it. There's marketing, there is sales, there is business development, there's operations, there's finance, there's legal, there's medicine, there's psychology. Only thing that you're doing is sports medicine, sports psychology, sports marketing, sports development, then sports branding. You're just adding sports to it. So you have to first understand why you're adding sports to it, because that is purely out of passion. You cannot be in a part of the industry like sports without a passion. And it doesn't mean that you need to be an athlete first. Anybody and everybody can be. Look at Harsha Bhogle. Okay, he is one of those guys sitting among all the bigger other commentators who are ex-cricketers, right? And he is still one of the greatest commentators that we have. We
still have talk shows like who's the next Harsha Bhogle. We have still competitions like that. So that makes it like no different than any other thing. Yes, right.
Exactly. So first thing I always say, to make a career, you need to have passion, and you have to combine that with profession. The moment you combine passion with profession, that's where you have a career. Into sports industry for the long haul. Don't look at short-term benefits. It's not like banking, the mature industry like banking or IT or telecom, where you come with high packages and I grow from one company to another company. I jump around and have multiple options. No, the options are still growing. Right now, whatever we see, the biggest opportunities in India right now, when you look at the sports as an industry, are around sports and around marketing and business development. Because simple reason, the sports needs money. So marketing and sales are the areas, the sponsorships are the areas which brings money to sports. The more money can come to sports, the more the industry is going to grow. So that is the biggest segment of sports industry that anybody looks at, or you become relevant. That's how I entered into sports industry, right? I was an outsider. Even though I had 12, 13 years of experience in the other industry, I was an outsider. I made myself relevant to this industry by getting money into sport. It's not my investing something. It is about how do you marry two things to get the best out of best benefits. So that is what I always look at. So sales, marketing, business development are the biggest roles. After that, some of the roles which are available for, say, if you're an engineer, if somebody is doing engineering and really want to pursue sports as a career, sports technology is huge. Sports technology is very big. Doesn't mean you need to be in coding. You can be an analyst. The big roles are coming for analysts, like how the team strategy, the performance analyst, team performance, individual performance, the grassroots performance, everything. So performance analysis is about lot of data is there thrown at you. How do you make sense out of the data? Why do you? Everybody talks about Virat Kohli getting out in England on the sixth off stump, consecutively to Stuart Broad and Anderson, and everybody in India becomes a pandit. So everybody said, "ऐसा क्यों खेल रहा है?" No, there's a going back, and the same place he went back and hit back-to-back centuries. Why? Because he understood what was going on. So the data was given to him about how is. Imagine, I'm just giving a simple example for technology people. If they want to analyze something, because while you're engineering, you basically build a different analytical mind. The course curriculum of engineering helps build an analytical mind. So I'll start first with technology industry. Okay, so for that, if you're looking at a cricketer, you're looking at how the bat is coming from third slip, second slip, or first slip, where the ball is hitting, if you're against the fast bowler, what is happening, against the spin bowler, how it's happening. So a lot of data is getting collected for everybody who is analyzing. So that's where the analytical mind comes into picture, and you're analyzing the game. So analyst is a big role which is there. Then second is the marketing and sales. You have to understand, if you understand technology, how we're going to market the technology, because there are multiple buyers to it. From the content technology, content platform, to fan engagement, to augmented reality, virtual reality, a lot of things which are there. So how are you going to make sure that this technology is meaningful for the buyer? So we are talking about it, the areas which an engineer can actually get into. Doesn't mean engineer needs to be only in technical side. Engineers can look at the event side of it, or marketing side of it, as well as other areas, or for interest they can go to psychology as well. So now coming to after technology, in technology there are multiple aspects, right? One is, I said, performance analysis and all those things. The second aspect is fan engagement. People need to have fan engagement, because fan engagement is one of the most underrated thing in India, specifically. Why do you think Manchester United and Chelsea and Liverpool are wishing happy Holi and happy Baisakhi to Indian people? Because they have exhausted their own fans in the country, and now they want 1.3 billion people from India who is crazy about Manchester United and Liverpool. So they want to start targeting the local people here. In India, the cricket is already looking at the fans. But when we say the people are crazy about IPL, does that mean people are crazy for CSK or RCB if there is no Dhoni or Kohli? I still doubt. Because people in India, we are brand focused. We are focusing Dhoni. We are focusing on Kohli. We are focusing on Rohit Sharma. We are not focusing on Mumbai Indian or RCB or CSK. So that model has to come in. So imagine what kind of work that we can do to grasp the next generation of people who will start becoming fans of a team beyond the individual. So fan engagement is a big area. For that, there is a key requirement called fan. It is somebody who is a casual fan, watching the match once in a while or discussing with the friends. But he or she is not the one who is going and buying something as a merchandise, not going to stadium and buying something, or not giving a shout out on the social media to be crazy about it. So there's a journey of fan to fanatic. So that fan development has to happen. The moment fan development happens, brands are now, just to give examples, I probably jump here and there because that's how the sports industry is. Now everybody has seen IPL starting, and everybody must have seen Myntra on the jersey of CSK. Earlier it was Muthoot Finance, now it is Myntra. Mintra has paid almost 20-25 crore a year to be to be in the front of jersey. Why are they paying so much of money? Because through CSK, they are acquiring their clients. Right. Through CSK, they want to go to the fans. But what is of use if the fans cannot go beyond only the viewership on the television? Because suppose you pay, say, 20-25 crore to be on the jersey, that means you are going to spend the same amount or double the amount on television, advertisements and everything. But fan engagement, with digital fan engagement on social media or the platforms like Fanisco, which makes fan engagement enabled, there the brand is going to know who is my fan because the data that captures. So again, there's a role for technology, guys. But if you're not from technology, if you're from commerce background or if you're from arts background, there are multiple roles which are there, and the industry needs you because you are passionate. Industry does not need you because there's a requirement. Industry needs you because you're passionate. So just to give the same answer again with more compartmentalizing thing, event management is one industry, technology is another industry, and marketing is another industry. Inside this, there are multiple sub-industries, and it is like building a family tree of Mughals, and which will go on for 5-6 different levels, right? So under event management, there is event operations, there is marketing, there is branding, there is PR, there is logistics, ticket management, fan engagement, in-stadia management, off-stadia management, a lot of things. Under technology, as I said, there's fan engagement, there's AR, VR, performance analysis, or bad technology, sensor technology, like the DRS that we see, or the goal VAR technology for goal technology, goal line technology, that all is there. The third area is marketing. Everything that you do has to be marketed well.
So it's like lot of options, I would say. There's like everything is kind of, if you minutely try to break it up, everything is opening up a huge amount of different opportunities. And as India has earlier mentioned, it's still kind of in a sunrising industry level. So it's a lot of more option will come up as more and more people will join in, I'm quite sure. And I really agree with you that we are actually brand focused. I remember like at the advent of IPL, most of us were rooting for different franchises, mainly because Sachin is playing for Mumbai, or maybe Ganguly is playing from Kolkata. So that was, or Sehwag is playing from Delhi. So these were the reason we were, I think, focusing on now. That's my favorite
you are still, see, Prakhar, you are still an outsider. I'm talking being a part of the industry, right? I'm part of the industry. I'm born and brought up in Mumbai, live in Pune, but the team I support is CSK. So it is about that, right? It's about the maturity, and that's where there's opportunity. Imagine grassroots development. If you start focusing on the kids at multiple level, Bangalore FC is not because Chetri is there. Bangalore FC because the people from Bangalore should get connected to it. Mumbai Indian because Mumbai Indian people should get connected to it. So that is what we are talking about. There are multiple opportunities which are there.
Right. So these are like really important streams that you mentioned. So going on, the next step to this is actually how does one take up sports as a career option after their 10th or 12th, or what are some competitive institutes or colleges that are available which offer courses in sports, specifically in India, because as you said, it's a sunrising industry. There might not be a lot of things available at their disposal. So can you please elaborate maybe some colleges and what are their eligibility criteria as well?
Yeah. So I think this is the very right question at the right time, because now we have the options. I never had the option, even though I wanted to be in sports 15 years back. So now we have the option. After 10th, do your regular 11th, 12th, whatever science, arts, commerce, whatever you want to do your whatever traditional you want to do. Because we still don't have undergrad course in sports in India. But the relevant course which can go there is BA with psychology, can get into sports psychology. BBA can get you into MBA, or BMS can get you into media side of sports for your post graduation. So there are multiple graduation that you want to do, whichever you want to do. It's even the BCom can get you into everything that you do. Post graduation courses are the one which India is looking at, because you have to already understand, if I create the graduates without the experience, where the industry is so small, I'm not going to absorb those people right away. But if I start something at the MBA level, the master's level, at least the acceptance for those people is more higher in the industry. That is how everybody starts with master's program and then probably go down to the graduate program. In specifically the new industry which comes up. So, a, do any graduation, but make sure that your passion for sport doesn't die. Follow sports, watch sports, try to write about sports, be critical about whatever you feel. Understand what people are talking about it. Understand what when you're looking at a match, don't look at only how somebody is batting or bowling. Look at why Kamala Pasand is doing so much of advertisement, or why Dream 11 is doing so much of advertisement. Then why do we see Pepsi doing so much of advertisement? Again, if you look at it, when you see Salman Khan there doing Pepsi advertisement, few years back Salman Khan was doing the Thumbs Up advertisement. So it is the brand recall that you have. So try to analyze every situation come your way in sports industry differently the way you want to perceive. That will open up a critical mind, analytical mind, which is going to be very helpful when you do your master's program. In India, there are multiple colleges who provide sports management. When I say multiple, I'm still going with handful. Okay, it's not like engineering and medicine or other things. One of the oldest MBA college in sports management was IISM in Mumbai, Indian Institute of Sports Management, and they had a private course. Then after that, you started like if I'm not wrong, there's NASM in Mumbai, and there's one more institute in Mumbai. So the two things 5 years back. The big entry into the whole sporting world, sports education world in India happened with Symbiosis entering into it. And I'm not talking about it because I'm the founding member of that, or I'm wearing the Symbiosis T-shirt. Not because of that. I'm talking about it. Why? Because Symbiosis is a A-grade university, and when they launch a program which is a full-time MBA course, then there is a different merit to it. Because the job opportunity, the people pursuing the students from Symbiosis MBA is different. So it's India's first full-time MBA, 2-year MBA course, and the entrance exam is anything in the graduation is fine, but entrance is SNAP. It's an entrance exam for SNAP for Symbiosis University. You give SNAP, and that's your first eligibility towards doing this MBA. Every college, there's another college called GISB, Global Institute of Sports Business in Mumbai, which is a shorter duration. I think it's still 13 months. Your postgraduate in sports management. Again, good options everywhere that you go. Finally, you have to understand, why am I here? So ask that question, why, then what? If you ask everything that you do, if you ask why 5 times, and if you have answer all 5 times, I think you have taken the right decision, or you're doing what you want to do.
It's a very important point of critical thinking, I would say. Is like why is like you have to follow every point of whatever you're thinking with 5 whys. So why this, and then why that, and why this, and why that. If you're getting answer, then you should go ahead and do it.
Exactly.
And very important that you. Yeah. Please.
So sorry, I'm just talking about the same education side of it. It's like ISM, NSM. Even IIM Rohtak has come into sports. So we heard IIT also, IIT Roorkee starting something on sports. So everybody is entering the sports industry, and when these big institutes coming into sport, that means you have to understand there is a bigger market to it. So that's a signal.
Yes, right. And actually, it will also bring in more and more attention from the parents and students, both of them, to understand that okay, the industry is actually substantial because there are full-time proper courses offered by bigger universities into the same thing. So that will obviously improve everyone's interest into that as well. So that's good for the industry as well as.
And a lot of students who might be there on the call right now, I want to tell them one thing: you will do engineering, you will do medicine, or any other field except sports, photography, and culinary. I feel every other every other field that you do is probably 90% because your parents or peers want you to do, and 10% because you want to do. These are probably only 3 courses, like photography, filmmaking, or culinary art, and sports, is because you want to do it. And 90% of the time, probably your parents are against it. So tell them that please talk to Siddharth Deshmukh, get the career guidance, and give the answers to them. I will give the answers to them, tell them about why they should be in sports industry. Sports industries, because again, Symbiosis being a big name doesn't mean that they will draw 15 lakh or 20 lakh salary after doing MBA. The salaries can start as low as say 4.2 lakh annual or 5.2 lakh annual for the early start. But as I've been saying about the sunrise industry, the growth is multifold. After a couple of years, the growth is multifold because you are growing with the industry. And COVID has not impacted Indian sports industry. It has impacted the international sports industry. Why? Because Indian sports industry never reached a higher level for it to come down. It was just starting. So we have not had big impact because of COVID. So anybody having and probably third year students or somebody who's thinking, COVID ka impact kya hai? Are there going to be jobs and all those things? I still had 80-85% placements in Symbiosis. Everybody, even after off campuses, they got placed. The jobs are there. People will get through. Everybody wants to know how are you using your time well. Do you have the quality in you to be eligible for what you need? Because you are going. See, nowadays we are in the era. If you are not Virat Kohli, even Ajinkya Rahane sits on bench, but Hardik Pandya plays. The analogy is you are an all-rounder. People need all-rounders.
Yes, right. People need all-rounders and someone who can actually have that X factor as well, I would say.
Exactly. And build that. I think it is more of the mindset, because anybody interested in sports, you always have that the winning attitude. You always have that zeal in you, and try to use that towards your career.
Right. So maybe can we talk more on this, and maybe how can students decide and find out about their true potential and interest to take up sports as a career? Because it's everyone likes to play sports, right? So, but is it a viable career for them? Is it the right career for them? They are like, okay, I am good in sports. Even I used to remember play in cricket at under 14 level at state levels, but that doesn't mean I would be a great sports person. There has to be something that is a deciding factor. And maybe parents and teacher can maybe observe and gauge interest of children in sports and maybe following a particular game in physical activity, whatever. So how should we identify something like that?
Okay, first question, what brings joy on your face? It's sports. If this brings joy on your face, I think you're mute, but if sports brings joy on your face.
What I was saying is your voice broke in between. So can you please repeat the answer?
So what I'm saying is how one should select a particular course is a simple answer. Do something which brings joy on your face. You could be even medicine. I come from doctor's family, right? So medicine brings joy on my parents' face. There was a time when I wanted to be a doctor, but yeah, I didn't go through that way, and glad I'm here right now, and probably I'm following my passion differently. But do something. And if you are a Funsuk Wangadu, you better be an engineer. So I'm saying that do something which brings joy. How you find the qualities in you? It is people have to understand. People have to give themselves a chance. It is nothing is going to come your way without trying for it. So during your graduation, if you feel I like sports bring joy to me, try and contribute towards sports industry by writing your own blogs, by doing your own YouTube channel or doing the reels around sports. And doesn't mean that that doesn't need to be playing wise. It is about the Premier League is happening, Champions League is happening. If you follow a particular team, why not just open the camera and talk about the performance that happened? I'm saying the content is a king. So you have to understand if you can play a role of content delivery, content creation, or analyzing something, you are just have to package it well. जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. So you have to be seen to be sold. Everybody, it's very simple. Why do we create a resume? To sell ourselves.
Yes.
So without resume, you're not going to be sold anywhere. Same way, you have to package yourself well. It's very critical for you. It doesn't need to be, you don't need to probably have a best of screen presence, perfectly fine. But do you have words? Suppose I'm probably not good with words, but I have a good screen presence. Then can somebody create those words for me, which are going to come out of my mouth? You have to understand what is that you want to do. Do you want to be an agent? Everybody wants to be Jerry Maguire. Everybody wants to be the manager of MS Dhoni or Virat Kohli. Everybody wants to. Believe me, guys, it's only 2 days of glamour in the world that you get in the whole year. Otherwise, it's the same job that you do. So you have to understand. Don't be in sports for fashion. Be there for passion. And this applies to any industry, honestly speaking. Otherwise, you will have a midlife crisis. Same like me. I had midlife crisis. What am I doing? Do something where there is a meaning to it. That's why I say passion, profession makes a career. So you can find out, am I good in this? Am I good in that? By giving yourself a chance. You never found out that you can play football unless you actually kick the ball. You never knew that you could draw a cartoon unless you picked up the pencil. The Messi said that I became an overnight sensation after 16 years.
Right.
Usain Bolt, for less than 10 seconds, he practices for 1,000 years, 1,000 days for those 10 seconds. So
That's
give yourself a chance. It's very important.
Thank you for pointing that out. Actually, it's like you choose what you like and you give yourself the chance. You give yourself that freedom.
Yeah.
And you should be actually following your passion rather than just fashion. That okay, that industry is going good, I should do it. This very interesting question that I have from audience. This question is coming from Diksha Bhatti.
Yeah, in
And
fact, I'm
question
reading
is,
that.
so my question is actually a concern. That's what she wrote. I have heard a lot that there is a lot of politics happen during selection process and getting chance to play at higher level and things like making it something for rich people only. I'm guessing she is referring to somewhere actually being an athletics person herself and not into the sports management industry. Which, so anyway, the question goes on.
Yeah, I know. I read the question. I read the question. I'll give a quick.
For the audience, actually, it's a question. For rich people only, and which somehow makes us to believe that there is less scope for many parents, and parents do not support their children. So, who do want to pursue sports? So, is it a truth? Is it a myth? What do you say?
There is no myth without some. There is no smoke without fire.
Right.
Okay. But every time when something doesn't happen your way, you find reasons into it. It is right or wrong. Politics, all those things, selection process, they may be there. There is a favorism, maybe there. But at the same time, you have to understand when you look at cricket, Natarajan Nattu wouldn't have come to the circuit and played for India. Siraj wouldn't have gone ahead and played for RCB and India and bought a BMW as soon as he came back from Australia. Dhoni wouldn't have been the captain of India. The talent and opportunity together makes it into what you want to be. The parents do not want to make them because parents themselves are not aware of what is happening. Parents are thinking about a safe job chahiye, safe career chahiye, safe ye chahiye, safe wo chahiye, because they want to give you something which they did not get. I'm a parent of a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old. Both my kids are into sports and cultural event and everything. So yes, there is requirement, there is a problem, but if you have talent and if you are persistent about what you want to achieve, things will happen your way. India is moving from one sport to multi-sport. Every sport has got opportunity. ISL players, football, beyond I-League, there is ISL. There are opportunities. Kabaddi, who thought a Kabaddi player can earn 50 lakh rupees a year? Kho-Kho, which we played in school days, now it's coming as a league, as Ultimate Kho-Kho League. So everything which is there, only thing is, are you persistent enough to follow your dreams? Don't give up. The biggest problem, I'll tell you, 2016 Rio Olympic, if you look at the Indian men's hockey team, lost or equalized most of the games in last 60 to 90 seconds. Because either they were complacent or they gave up. That is what lacks in Indians as generic. We do not have a killer punch. We do not go for the finishing. The finesse lacks. That is what we need to develop. And if you are old enough, then you need to develop it yourself in your work. On TCS, right? Who will accept a non-good quality work. You need to give a right quality work. The quality is measured. So every time 100% resilience, confidence, everything will yield results. Politics and everything which are there. Out of 10, there will be people who will facing these kind of issues. But unfortunately, if you have faced it, I'm sorry about that. Unfortunately, that has happened. But that doesn't make the whole industry bad.
Yes, right. Few exceptions are there everywhere, but I guess you have to strive forward and move on and take that as it comes. So thank you for pointing that out. So let me just go back to the question set. So can you please help us understand what are the top companies that hire exposed graduate, and what are the typical salaries and roles and position that job seekers are offered?
Okay, so I mentioned about the salaries. As the entry level salaries are anywhere between 25,000 rupees a month, or it goes up to 56,000 rupees a month. That is at the entry level with, or probably have a couple of years experience. The companies, one of the top companies in India, IMG is big, which is Reliance. Other than that, all the event companies around IPL, ISL, Kabaddi, the event companies are big. So Percept or DNA, then as I said, Reliance, Sports Interactive, Sports Consult, Sports Village. These companies are big enough for jobs. IPL team, ISL teams, none of those teams hire a lot of people because that's a seasonal thing. They have their core team and they hire people from the colleges, institute, or these kind of event companies to help them during that period. Because it doesn't make any sense for IPL team to have a 40-member team at the management level when the season itself is not more than 2 months, 2.5 months. So as I said, the jobs are there, but not with the IPL team or ISL team. They are available with the ecosystem who supports this kind of engagement happen. There are sports management companies which are pretty big. Baseline Ventures. There is iOS Ventures, iOS Sports, Riti Sports. There is ITW Sports. So there are multiple sports management companies where there is athlete management happening. There is sponsorship and marketing deals are happening. These people do not work on operations. These people work on business side of it. Operations company which I said are like DNA and all, they work on the operation side of it, like events. There are technology companies like Dream 11 is a technology company, right? Fan Code is a technology company. My Circle, My Team 11, all those things are the technology companies. So there are jobs in those companies as well. There is another sector which is huge, is called academies. A lot of academies are there in India. And there is a scope for having more and more academies, the sports academies. So there are a lot of opportunities with these academies because we need to make sure that the kids get the opportunity to play. There is a scope for them to compete at different level, because finally it has to be pyramid has to be met. You had a participative sport, then goes the competitive sport, then goes the elite sport, and then goes the high performance sport. So there is a pyramid. So when you have 1,000 people, kids playing at this level, then you get one Virat Kohli.
Right.
But that doesn't mean the other 999 do not have work to do. So that means academy has a big job. And the fourth sector is called sustainability, which is CSR side. Go Sports, Laksh Foundation, all those things who are working on the CSR, sustainability, and supporting a lot of athletes from the corporate social responsibility. Again, there are a lot of jobs there on athlete management and sales perspective.
Thank you, Sid. I think a lot of opportunities, a lot of companies, and depending upon what kind of interest people are they're having. Say, obviously, technical person can go into say somewhere in Dream 11 and My Circle 11, all those technology-based companies, and people can go into event management as well in respective companies, and then obviously marketing and PR companies as well. So a lot of companies, a lot of different options, depending upon the stream that you want to be in.
Correct.
There is very specific thing that is nowadays, like just like you have started. So maybe you could be the right person. I would say is you have started your own business. So how can a sports graduate be an entrepreneur in sports? So how much can they earn and grow? And if you can mention some of the company name, then just like yours, they can also look up to that. Okay, this is one of such company who have created something from there.
Yeah, this is my favorite topic, and I can go on and on. But entrepreneurship is something which comes from aligns the word to entrepreneur. which has to come from within. So don't, again, as I said earlier, don't be there for fashion. Be there for passion. Don't do it because somebody else is an entrepreneur, somebody else is a startup. Be there because you want to be part of it. You want to do something. Don't build something that you like. Build something what people want to have. It's of no use building something that only you like and there's no buyer to it. Understand, do a lot of market research about what you want to do, why, how will people perceive something. So do these activities. There are successful startups in India. There are a good company like State Bank into smart bank technology, or their smart ball. Then there is my own company like Sportsy, which is the media platform, sports content and media platform. Khel Now of Dream 11, My Circle 11, My Team 11, all those fantasy leagues platform. Company like Fanisco, which are fan engagement platform. AR VR based, like you get those face painting and everything, which is the AR filters that you get, right, to support your team and all. There's so many things which are happening. There are jobs, but understand, except Dream 11 or My Team Circle 11, those fantasy guys, nobody else has still seen the success because it's a very new industry. But they are there. They are going through the grind, and I'm sure they will be successful in a few days or few months from now. So there are opportunities, but do it because you feel like doing it, and do it something that people want to buy and not something that you want to sell.
It's very important to understand the audience perspective. It's the empathy that actually drives your business upwards, actually, I would say.
Yes.
It's really right. Because obviously when you're starting something on your own, there are bound to be a lot of challenges, and obviously a lot of people start, but not all of them are at the top. Just like you mentioned, there's a pyramid in terms of athletes. There is obviously a pyramid in terms of setting up on your business as well.
Yes.
So very few reach to the highest point. So
yeah,
very much accurate. So before we wrap up, let me try to take quick questions from our audience as well. There's this question coming from Rahul Gawala, and he's asking, how can a corporate individual make opportunity into sports industry? Are companies interested in leveraging their employees to sports industry?
Yes, there is opportunity, because if you're already working in corporate, so you understand how the companies work, you understand the basic governance structure. Try to get those best practices that you have learned in this industry. It needs it. Don't compare your salary packages, but compare the passion, compare the output which is required. There's a lot of work to be done. There are multiple companies who look for these people, obviously, because the industry is not saying that I want to hire only sports management graduate. They will get people even if you're not a sports graduate person. You take the person because you want to be part of that. So there are opportunities as long as you are relevant for the industry. Make yourself relevant. By making relevant is like either you are getting money to sports, or you are saving money of current team or league and making them efficient, or you are adding creativity or content towards the growth. So as long as you are being meaningful and relevant, there is a job for everyone.
Thank you, Sid. There's another question from Sebastian Bose, and he wants you to understand how would you suggest combining a professional finance qualification with sports?
Very good question, and sports needs it because there are so many leagues, teams, and they are there. The financial things are required. In fact, I had somebody on my channel a couple of days back, last week, Parimal Day. He is a financial guru, and spoke about athletes and how can they make their future secure. So people like you who understand finance actually had to help parents about the financial planning. You can help kids or the amateur athletes, the professional athlete about planning for their because their retirement is going to come far before than what we can anticipate. If your injury, retirement could be as early as in 20s, or a good career, retirement is 30s or late 30s. So you have to understand the financial guys are required to make sports sustainable, to athletes' life better. At the same time, when the money comes, there has to be people who understand how to manage that money. Otherwise, we look at the other issues. So yes, there is the work to be done.
And obviously, when we are seeing the whole bidding war at the IPL auction,
Yes,
so there is
yes,
a lot of potential that is involved over there. So obviously, you have to understand what pockets you are having and what particular player is making which particular contribution. So you have to see all those things. A lot of things in there. One last question I would like to take from audience. This is actually Samuel from Coimbatore, and he's asking is I'm very much into tennis. What are the opportunity in tennis in India? And what I understand from him, his question is not just one question about tennis. It's about when people are interested in one specific sport. So while seeking opportunities in career in industry, sports industry as a whole, so can they still focus in one particular sports, or will it just be digressed into a lot of
they,
other sports?
they can focus on one particular sport, but they have to grow to make sure that how they stay relevant, because otherwise you will get frustrated. Because we are still moving in the direction of multi-sport. We are still a one-four sport dominant country. We are still cricket everywhere, right? Even football is growing the way it grows. But there we have in Maharashtra, they are doing a good job in having the leagues and everything. So you can work on it. There is multiple things that you can do, and you can. I read somebody asking about rifle shooting. All these sports, non-cricketing sport, if you're looking at, I think there is a career to be made. But don't say that I will not look at something else. If you want to be part of sports, don't make it this is the sport for me. This is one of a sport that you want to grow, and let's focus that way.
Thank you, Sid. I think I hope it actually answered my question. Maybe you can answer Samuel's question as well. What are the opportunity in tennis? I think I kind of took his question and kind of made mine also. So maybe you can
No,
answer
that is no. So in tennis also the same opportunity, right? It is you to be working with ATP on the event side of it or sponsorship side of it, or work with the athletes, the academies, the tennis academies which are there, like Open and everybody has academies. How do you grow those academies? So there are jobs. Technology-wise, also there are jobs. So work with it. And see, again, I'll give you one single answer for everybody. If I'm looking at hiring somebody as a candidate, if I'm in the sports industry, if I'm looking at hiring somebody as a candidate, I will first go with the passion, second, aptitude, third, attitude. If I have these three things, the typical PA, like which is, if I get these three things from a candidate, I will go for a candidate. Nothing else can be developed. These three things has to be within that you have to bring to me. I can't put passion into you. I can't put attitude into you. I can't put aptitude into you. You have to come with these three things. Everything else I can help you to grow. So I think with the time, I just want to say that guys, have a look at the channel. A lot of questions will be answered. I'm Sid Deshmukh is my LinkedIn handle. Sid_Desh is my Twitter and Instagram. Follow Sportsy 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 Says as my handle across Instagram, Twitter, as well as I have a YouTube channel by same name. Sportsy Says. Let's talk sports with Sid Deshmukh. A lot of questions will be answered. And I have sent, and there you can reach out, your parents can reach out, you can reach out to me to get any more clarity that you may need on this careers in sports industry. Yes, with the restriction of time, I can go on this topic for the whole day, but with the restriction of time, we have to respect that. And once even the one day gets over on the 50th ball, 50th over, the last ball that's bowled, it's not the test match also is not timeless. It finishes on the 5th day. So time is important. Everybody has to respect that. And but I'm very much accessible. I have told Prakhar and team that I'm very much accessible on my social media for you to come and chat with me separately. Have questions? Do follow me. Do ask questions. Do contribute to whatever things I do. And let me help the sports industry. The sports industry grows. You have opportunity there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That was a very insightful and very candid talk, I would say. So, and there are a lot of key takeaways, and I'm quite sure a lot of during the last address that you made, I'm quite sure a lot of answers from our audience, the questions from our audience were also answered, I would say. So thank you for that. I would like to thank our audience for putting up so many interesting questions and keeping the talk very interactive. I request you to please share your feedback by using the feedback form that will appear on your screen after the webinar. To know more career options, I would request you to log in into TCS Ion Direct channel. A link for the same will appear at the end of the session. And it's a free to access site for all of you, wherein you can just find more session and more interesting talk to learn from and more very interesting content over there. So stay tuned, TCS and Direct, and you will find many more interesting session coming your way and with a lot of knowledgeable content. Thank you, Sid. It was a very, very engaging session. Thank you for sparing time out of your busy schedule, and thank you for sharing your opinions over here.